It's been a while, man. I miss that. I'm like, what the heck?
Hey, Ev, how you doing?
I'm doing. You know what?
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back
To the empty.
to the empty bottle.
There we go. Yeah, I'm good, man. It's been a kind of a crazy weekend. You know, I told you about my mom.
Yeah, we heard.
I mean, she's 95, right? So last month she fell and broke her right wrist. So I get a call yesterday, which is Sunday. I'm up at 6:30 in the morning. Get a call at 7. Hi, Mr. Pepper. Yes, your mom had an unwitnessed fall. I go, oh, she fell. What happened? Well, she broke her left wrist. So we went in at 7:30, and I was there till 3:30. And now I have to take her to an orthopedic surgeon. But we're not going to have any surgery on her wrist. But besides that, it's great.
Besides that, everything is great.
It was really cool to see you teaching this morning at 6:30.
Oh,
dude.
yeah. No. I think it was more cool for everybody to see you at 6:30 this morning.
I was surprised. It was a very nice class, and everybody was having fun.
Yeah.
It was good to see everybody, man.
Was James awake?
Oh, he was
No,
on
no,
it.
it
James
this was
on
a
it.
good
It was a
point.
good class.
Yeah.
I
He had some really good
class this
music.
morning.
Good coffee.
It was good coffee. You're right. Yeah.
Good music, and a lot of good people.
Today, usually in the mornings is when I reserve the best music for the most deserving people.
It was cool. I mean, it was. I see. It was Andrea was there. Mosea.
Yeah, she
Rich.
likes to take
Claire.
my Mondays. I wish I could take her Tuesdays or Thursdays,
know.
but I hate working out at 6:30.
Yeah, Devora and Caitlin. Hey, did Caitlin fight?
Yes.
How'd she do?
Hey, let's do a shout out real quick to one of my favorite littles, Caitlin. Should we call her out by name or Caitlin Cataby? Fuck, I'm gonna mess up her name. Caitlin, Cece. Oh, I should start calling her Cece. Caitlin, who is no bigger, who is actually
She's like 5'1".
yeah, and
5'2".
she's like maybe $120, maybe I think, or I don't know if that's more or less.
Yeah, I don't know. But
She's like she looks like a 12-year-old, and she's just this little person, and
With
she has
so
so
much-
much energy.
I know.
It's so great to watch. It's so much fun to watch.
Okay, let's say something. She does not look like a 12-year-old.
All right, to be fair, like she's got a 20-year-old face on a 12-year-old's little tiny person body,
Not a 12-year-old body, also.
like a ripped 12-year-old.
She is ripped. So how'd she do?
She did so good. Like the weird part is like we've all kind of been waiting for her to do this because we all knew that she had it in her. It's just for some reason she just wasn't like mentally prepared in the beginning. But
Yeah.
once she realized what she just took to it like a fish to water.
Well, good. She did great. How many people were there? I mean, how many people did you guys have fight?
Them and then Natasha fought also. Like I think that the two of them were the only ones that ended up. All the guys pulled out.
Really?
Yeah, I think people were just there was
Spring breaking?
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff was going on.
That's
for
crazy
people.
this year. Spring break. Spring break used to be 1 week and everybody was out at the same time.
Yeah,
Now everybody has
it's all the different school.
Yeah.
The what do they call it? School zone? No,
Districts.
districts. All the districts have their own time off, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a
Well,
bad thing. I
what
don't.
happens? It's for a whole month. I mean, we're expecting everybody back, but we just went on spring break.
Oh, yeah,
wait,
one more week.
That was last week.
Yeah, one
Oh
more
wait,
week.
that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that was last month. Yeah,
So for almost the whole of this month, it's been kind of like weird.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, hey, spring break. They now call it
Spring
snow
break.
break.
Spring break.
Snow break.
Snow break?
Yeah.
In spring?
It's called Ski Week.
Oh,
in
that's
February.
right.
that's
That's
in
right. I'm
February.
sorry. Ski
Yeah.
week. There we go.
We're springing it up.
Yeah, we go. So what are we talking about today? You said you had. Oh, Gemma had something.
What do you have?
Gemma, you missed it.
Oh, no. Let's let James go first.
Well, I don't have my tappity, so
Oh,
we're
you
just
don't
going to
have
have to
your
go off
computer
book
today?
and be like, hey, guess what? Who saw Roadhouse? Who
Hey,
saw Roadhouse?
okay. So since you're so excited,
Wait. How many times did James watch the new Roadhouse?
Survey says,
In a span of 1 month.
in 1 month. 5 times.
No,
kidding.
no. He's
No,
watched it like
I've
10
seen
times.
it 7 times.
No,
That's
But in
crazy.
1 month, like in the span of 4 weeks, because like it's been a month and a half since it's been out, right?
I don't know.
Or
I told you.
However long it's been out, I've watched it 7.5 times.
I watched it Friday. Jake Gyllenhaal and
Yeah.
Conor McGregor. And
Oh, my goodness.
A little different storyline. It was kind of fun, but the fight scenes are pretty well done.
Yeah. The opening fight scene was very it was very not real. Like watching like the weird way his arms were moving, and I'm like, why couldn't Post Malone just have a real like pretend to really be fighting? But he was like a animated character or something. What was that about?
That was the lens distortion of the camera.
Are you sure? Because it looked fake.
Okay, it's a movie.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, but like, okay, so good choreography can fix that. Jackie Chan did it for years.
Oh, okay. You're comparing Post Malone to
Oh
Jackie
no.
Chan?
Well, no. I'm just saying. Okay, wait.
Did you know Jackie Chan was in an acting troupe or group since he was young?
Yeah.
So his whole entire life, he knew how to like do acrobatics and gymnastics and athletic
Whatever.
stuff.
The least they could
What
have
was
done was
Post Malone
let
doing?
him pretend to punch because it literally
Maybe that's
looked
him
like
pretending to
he
punch.
was
Wait.
Spider-Man.
Oh, so is that I don't
In the very
is that
beginning.
In
oh,
the
very
very beginning,
when
there
the guy
was a
was-
fight in a
a
ring.
ring. Yeah, I got
and
it.
the guy who was hitting it looked fake. He looked like a cartoon, like they superimposed him and shit, or whatever the word is.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of the word. I want to say CG, like computer generated. He looked like a CG character.
But I know, but you hated it so much that you watched it 5.
No,
8,
just that
10
one thing.
times.
It's like every time I start this movie, I'm like, oh, this is so silly. And then he gets in there
What?
and he takes off his sweater, and you could just see his 12-pack.
Yeah, that's Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jakey. And I call him Jakey. We're on, first
Oh,
name
you
basis.
and him are.
Yeah.
You guys
he calls
went
me
to,
Jimmy.
I know you guys went to different high schools together. You told me that.
Yeah. And then he's going to take off his shoe, and Post Malone's like, I ain't fighting him. Meow, meow, meow. And it's such a good movie. He goes out, and the guy like stabs him, and he's like, now what? He's like, and the guy's like running away. He's like, oh no, don't you want to take your knife or whatever?
Yeah, that part was when you get stabbed that deep. Okay.
Like right there. But I mean, he's got so many muscles.
Well-
it just what happens is
I know, but-
inside. I'll tell you, since maybe you don't know this. This is a fact. When you get stabbed in your muscles actually grab the knife. Like we watched Dune 2 last night. This dude,
Wait, what
they
happened?
were fighting with knives, right? And he's like stabbed, and he's like, oh, and then they're fighting, and he goes to stab him in the face, and he grabs the knife, like this, and the knife's like, and he's holding his tight, and then it kind of slides in a little bit, and you can see the blood coming down, and he's just like, and then I don't want to tell you the end, but just like that, when you grab a knife like this and it hurts you, you're like, oh, it's cutting my finger. That's your muscles grabbing the knife, and it'll be like, oh.
Do you see Ev's face? Yeah. Do you know every time in class when he goes, why do people think like this? Why do people think this is real? It's because of you.
All I'm
It's
saying
not a
is
fact.
I 100% believe Conor McGregor walks around.
No, do the face. Yeah, there it is.
I could be a Conor McGregor.
Oh my God.
I just gotta
Okay.
get more tattoos.
Okay, so we talked about Dune with the.
Well,
I didn't cut my
so-
fingers off.
so
and
we went to
Ev,
Dune.
Ev, did you watch the original Dune?
yes.
when it came out?
Gemma is super into it. So
I'm
like
not
she was
super
like,
into
I
it.
want to see Dune 2, blah 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 or whatever. And all I heard was good things, like cinematically extravagant. The sound is supposed to be great. We unfortunately went to a smaller theater because we didn't want to pay like $27 for a ticket. So like we ended up getting the cheaper theater, the smaller,
Yeah.
with the nice seats anyways, and we paid like $15 a ticket during the day or whatever.
So what did you think of the film? Did you like it?
She only almost fell asleep once. I was
Okay,
captivated.
to be fair, I watched all the great parts on TikTok.
Oh,
And I wanted
hate
the
that
movie
she
to
does
fill in
this.
time.
I hate that she does this.
Oh, really?
Like she ruins every movie
I
for
don't.
herself.
I also think that we could have just bought the movie at home and listened to our surround sound at home, and it would have been way better. Our seats recline at home.
there you go.
Yeah, but we should have went to the nicer theater and
Well, hey,
sprung
you
for
know, it was a good movie. It was well done.
Did you?
Yeah, you
I
just
just
pulled.
broke it. Did you watch it?
Yes.
Was this already broken? Is that why you left it in there?
You just broke it.
All I did was pull it out.
Well, push it back in.
I don't know about that. I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait. Seen any good techniques lately? As always, we're following the McDojo guy. I gotta
Oh, some of those.
I should learn his name. I think it's like Josh or Trevor or
McDojo.
yeah. So he was showing this one. All right. So this is great. Guy's holding a gun, right? And this guy rolls at him and then disables him with his feet.
I haven't seen that one.
It is hilarious.
Yeah.
So,
so
what do you think about that as a defense against gun? Because I know we've been actually, you and I
the
have
guy
actually done
rolls-
this,
rolls-
done a lot of gun stuff lately. with a
Rolls
couple
into the
of-
guy?
He rolls into him.
Is the guy with the gun blind or what?
That's the thing. It's like, how many times could I have pulled the trigger as he's rolling towards me?
Wow.
That's all I could think about. And it's like, it's kind of fun that he exposes these people, but I'm like, who is actually taking this seriously? I'm going to take an interlude real quick.
Wow.
Yep. That's a thing. I wish, you know
Here,
what?
I'm going to give you back because this is really silly. But
Yeah.
Also, how old is that video?
I mean, it looks
Was it
like
in
it's
the
from the
90s?
70s.
Before there was
No, the
social
80s,
media?
maybe.
Before he could share that with the world and everyone's like, that's
He's
not right?
rolling. And see how he's following him? Because he's shooting you.
yeah. Okay.
Pretty
So,
great, right?
Yeah. Well, that's that. I guess he's just trying to show us that's something that you don't want to do.
Yeah, you're right. That's good. That's good. I wouldn't do that either.
Okay. So that was
That's
that
what
was
I got.
different. Yeah.
I mean, that's what, you know.
Okay. So Gemma,
Hey,
you had your hand up.
I want to talk about gatekeeping.
Gatekeeping.
The gatekeeping of information in terms of martial arts and Krav Maga.
Oh, how people. Well, that's just martial arts. Period. Where
But why?
why do people not want to?
Why don't people want to share what they know?
You know what?
Because you can share all the knowledge you want, but they're not really going to get it unless they really train.
Point of
So you're
order.
not-
Point of order. People do share, but they share in coaching to other people. That's how they're sharing, isn't it?
No, but what she's meaning again, where
Are
you
you
have
thinking more politics?
No, I'm
or-
talking about like you have to come to our school to learn this. If you don't come to our school, you're never going to learn anything.
Well, let's
Like it won't be good unless you come to our school.
What kind of weird?
It's called gatekeeping. How
Here's-
people say
we don't
like
we
this,
don't do that.
this
I don't think we
martial
do that
arts
in Muay
school
Thai.
is not legit. Blah blah blah. This and that.
Yeah. Well, hey, guess what? If you're even when you're getting that kind of commentary, obviously they're looking at your stuff. Why are they doing that? I don't. I look at stuff every once in a while. Again, you know, let's take Eskrima from the Philippines, right? Every instructor that teaches Eskrima, they go, okay, my Eskrima is better. Because they're different villages, and they don't want to give up certain secrets to other villages because it would give them an advantage that they'd know some of their techniques, right? So that in martial arts, where you don't want to divulge this information because you're going to give the enemy
The enemy, yeah.
an advantage because they know our techniques, which is okay. That's how it started, right? Or that's how it, and people still do that. I mean, it's just crazy. You know, I keep telling you a story about my Hapkido instructor where, you know, I teaching me how to get into locks, and he wouldn't tell. I go, well, how do we get out of that? And he goes, oh, I can't tell you that because
What?
that's $4,000 more. That's black belt
Wait,
stuff.
what?
Yeah, no, that was serious. I went, what? So, I mean, he was doing it because he wanted more money, but it's just people are afraid that they'll have an advantage, or some people are afraid because they think, okay, well, I don't know if this will really work because I've never really done this for real. You know what I mean? But I'm going to teach this. This is my stuff. Well, listen, as far as information, man, you want to know information, you want to come and train, I'll give you all the information you want,
Yeah.
right?
We're always telling people.
I know, but that's a very open-minded, and we're always trying to evolve.
Yeah.
A lot of the systems, I've taken
There-
Shotokan,
So,
I've taken Taekwondo.
so what do we call this now? Because this is a good point. A lot of the systems, and Jem's using the word gatekeep. It's
a good word.
It's a good word. So, what do we say when it comes to tradition then? So, in my as far as I know, in Muay Thai, especially with traditional Muay Thai from Thailand, when you go to a gym or when you're raised in a gym, essentially these parents sell their kids to a gym. Sometimes, like the really rough areas, they're sold to the gym.
You start at a young age, yeah.
Yeah. So they're contracted. They're obligated to go to one gym. And the only way they could get out of that obligation is if their sensei or whatever sells their contract to another gym or trades their some sort of arrangement needs to be made for the contract of that fighter. So what I would call that is tradition. Right?
Indentured servitude.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know because I'm not from Thailand and I don't know if that's just a thing, and I didn't really realize this until I started training at another gym, and I didn't train there. It was just a seminar. I go to the seminars up in San Francisco. There's a really infamous Muay Thai fighter. I actually just found his first name, and it's weird. It's like Zhang Jin or something like this, and his last name is Woodenman. And I'll always throw praise his way because he's really opened my eyes up to a lot of different ways of thinking. And one of the things he said is, you guys have it really lucky here because you're allowed to do that sort of thing. If you wanted to go to another gym and you want to check out their style, you check out their style, and they allow you to come in and train with them. In other parts of the world, you are not welcome. Like gyms keep it very closed, very hush-hush. Unless you're a student, they're not teaching you, just sort of along the ways of this. But I didn't know if gatekeeping exactly is the right way to put that because traditionally that's the way it was, right?
That's different. I mean, they're trained to get in the ring and fight and make money. And not to say that Muay Thai is not effective on the street. It's very effective.
So that's more of a
it's a business, right?
Business, okay.
And you have people that I've seen comments like, "Oh, it's if you really want to learn the real whatever, then you need to go here," or "This is not legit."
And that's more marketing, though,
or
right?
"This is not legit," or here's the other thing where
your kung fu.
But what about
not as good?
What is your lineage? Well, you know what? If you can protect yourself on the street, who cares about your lineage? That's the point. That's not traditional martial arts. Okay, you want to do tradition. I mean, I've had people look at some of my stuff and say, well, that's not traditional. Well, I know that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be traditional.
Right.
That's why I'm teaching, because I want to be able to, the bottom line is I want you to be able to protect yourself on the street.
Right.
And in doing so, when you train like that, you get discipline and you get respect. I mean, you learn respect and all that kind of stuff. And in the old days, they used to, you would clean the master instructor's studio, or you would do all the chores, and
vacuum the floor, wash the car,
right? Like a
dishes.
Miyagi, yeah. But that's the thing, and for people that. I get all these guys sometimes that are on, what's the lineage of this system, or it's not legit. Well, okay, great. Come at me with a knife, I cut your throat. That's not legit. Well, you didn't do it the traditional way.
Did it work? Yeah.
I tell my students, you've heard me say this, you go out on the street and I teach you a technique and you don't even do the technique, right? And you come back and tell me like, oh, hey, I did this. And I go, wait a minute, you did that wrong. You go back and find that. I'll never tell you did something
I
wrong.
always thought that was.
And when you come back, and the only time I tell you you're wrong is when you're dead or in the hospital. I say, see, you did it wrong. Otherwise, if you did it something and it worked,
Yeah.
is that
That's
good?
the point.
That's the point.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys, the traditional martial arts, have all these techniques. Kaji Kempo and Kempo. Every martial art. I mean, every martial art has something good about it. And I'm not knocking martial arts because I've been in it for 53 years. But you see some of the stuff, and it's so complicated. And most of these guys have never been in a fight. They've never been shot. They've never been stabbed. They've never been in a stressful situation. They learn from their master instructor, and they learn from books. And it's totally different when you're on the street and a guy approaches you with a knife, and it's a real knife. It's not a rubber knife.
Yeah.
And it comes at you at full speed. And what most people are going to do, like, well, I'm a black belt. Most black belts get their asses kicked on the street. Why? They don't train under stress. And that's what happens with a lot of people. And you need to make it real, and you need to make it so it works on the street. If it doesn't work on the street and it doesn't work for the smallest person, then we're not going to teach it.
Right.
If your instructor hasn't been shot at or held at gunpoint or stabbed or cut with a knife, can't they still be as effective to teach you how to defend against those things?
They can be, they learn techniques that worked supposedly for somebody, let's say the master instructor, and they've never tried it, right? And again, what they're training with is they're not really training and making it stressful. You got to make it stressful. I guarantee
at
you.
that point, it becomes more like form,
Why do
right?
Yeah,
Forms.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
like we're not doing
no.
forms.
They're
You gotta
doing
do this
technique, but see, it's all controlled. Let me hit you in the face and then stab you.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, and when they practice hitting, they don't really hit the face. Why?
So how do you make it stressful for your students?
Number one, we train outside. Number two, I've come out with the live blade.
Yeah.
I mean,
or no, even better, the shock blade.
shock knives,
Yeah.
right? Or we use airsoft pistols, and when you miss or something,
Yeah. Like,
Gina.
you
Shout
get like
out to
Gina,
Gina.
big welts, right? You get, I mean, but and
It's crazy how we just shout out Gina and not the person who didn't protect her.
but make it stressful,
Oh,
and
that's
then
great.
and the drills we do, they're a lot more stressful than normal, and our tests are very stressful.
yeah.
How
Those
do
are
you
rough.
How do you convince somebody who's like, oh, that's not going to work in the street, that your training is actually effective?
Well, again, like people, well, you didn't disarm him right. Okay, so what I do, and you get those people that come in and do that. I said, okay, put the headgear on,
Yeah.
and I make them put the headgear on. I said, okay, now,
Yeah, we're really safe here. It's
yeah,
like
but here's
if we wanted to do
I know,
crazy
but
shit.
here's the deal. Okay, hold the knife. Okay, now ready, and I am going to attack you.
Yeah.
I hit him in the face, and the knife drops, and they're putting their hands to their face, and I go, what happened? I thought you said this wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And by the way, you had protection.
Before you did that, did you ask them if they had insurance? Or how close was the nearest hospital?
Hey, where's the nearest
I've-
hospital?
By the
It's
way,
like 20, 25
I've
minutes.
done that. The second line, you know where the nearest hospital is, right?
Yeah.
I've done that.
That's
But-
awesome.
but the point-
Roadhouse.
That was the best
But the
part of the
point,
movie.
but the point is that they don't. And when I hit them, I'm not hitting them full blast, but I'm hitting them now
Yeah.
to see stars.
just
And then-
so that they-
Yeah,
it's
and
like
it's
a shock.
amazing. It's amazing because I put live blades in students' hands. I mean,
Yep.
it gets a little
do
crazy.
all the time. It's
but
crazy.
But I do this and I go bam, and then they drop the knife and they're like this, and they go, "What the?" I'm not going to do it. It's not safe. But I again, you got to do it, and they got to understand that. Hey, you had head protection on. I barely hit you.
If more people like just took into consideration everything is on par with what's going to happen until you get hit in the face.
Yeah, well, Mike Tyson said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody has a plan until you get hit in the face, right?
Boom.
There's the other thing. I mean, that movie.
The best movie ever.
Slap these
The
guys.
best movie of the year.
They were being slapped.
The whole time I was watching that
Holy
part,
shit!
I was
That
like,
was the best fight
I was
scene.
like, that's Ev. I think he would do something
he
like
would
that.
start and be like, slap the guy in the face. Oh,
Do you
I'm
know
sorry.
why?
I
Do you
just
know why?
slapped you.
You know why I like Jake Gyllenhaal? Which was really, what do I do when I fight? And what was he doing?
He was smiling the
know,
whole
man.
damn time. It was like, and that was what they were saying. It's like, it's weird. He was smiling the whole time. It was like it was nice. What? What? Oh, sorry. I bet that hurt.
Oh yeah, but and I went, oh, I like this because I mean I do the same thing, but again, so where your lineage comes from, and you know I don't care. You know, people ask me, well, if you were in a fight on the street, would you pick a black belt or a street fighter? And every time my response is, I'll take the street fighter.
Yeah. Because he's ready for some shit.
Well, no, he's been through.
Yeah.
some shit.
Yeah.
The black belt, no, right? So
I got a kid. He's probably never going to listen to this. He comes at night for Muay Thai, and I keep seeing the way he stands. And I always ask him, I'm like, you got to reposition your body and do this. He's like, oh, sorry, man. It's so hard to learn when I'm just so used to street fighting. It's just different. And I'm like, I'm only saying this because he's never going to hear it. But I'm like, you can't be, you know,
Where
like,
was his
there's a
street?
reason. I don't know.
What streets did he learn that?
I don't know. San Jose, probably. Like, this place is off the hook. I wouldn't be surprised if it was local. But he likes to, you know, square up.
yeah, and, you know the number one thing is you got to change the mindset.
Yeah.
And no matter what, I mean, whether you have your fists up, you have a gun, a knife, you got to change that mindset. Yeah. And people go, "What's the best disarm in the world?" I go, "Hit them,
Hit him, yeah.
hit them hard, hit them where."
Even when you catch me unassumingly, you catch me and you just slap the knife right out of my hand. Like, I'm like, what just happened?
What?
Yeah, I'm like, at first I'm just kind of holding it, like about to threaten you, and then it's on the floor. I'm like, how does he do that so fast?
So again, it's experience accounts for a lot of stuff, and a lot of the instructors I've had have had a lot of street experience. Right. You know, so
Not me.
Oh,
I'm a good kid. I don't get in trouble like that.
right. So you see a lot of this stuff where you have two guys holding. Well, people go, well, what if there's two guys holding a gun, or what if you're on the ground and somebody's holding a gun on you? Well, what do you say? I say, well, just give me roses, because you're gonna die.
That's silly.
Well,
you silly goose.
I mean, well, again, people go, well, what are you going to do? And I'm going to do everything I can to save my life. But guess what? Guess who has the upper hand at this point? I always say, always have superior force and always have the upper hand no matter what. Right? And
like
so
it's a good way to, it's a good, that's just good.
and a lot of the stuff that I teach, go, well, people go, well, that's dirty fighting. There's no such thing
There's
as
no
dirty
such
fighting.
thing as dirty fighting, you silly goose.
Right. And I'm saying when it comes to the street. Now, in the ring, there are rules. You can't do stuff. But on the street, anything counts. And here's what happens. People that have been stabbed or shot. How many times have we had people come in here and say, well, you know, I didn't know it was going to happen to me.
Right.
I never thought it would happen to me. And I'm thinking, wow.
But the cool part is usually those are the people who are like, well, at least when they come back, those are the people who are like, hey, I did what you taught me to do, and I'm alive.
Okay, now I've had people come back and tell me that, right?
I never thought it would happen to me, and this is,
Right.
you saved my life.
Yeah, and most
I
people.
like those ones better.
Yeah, well, those are.
I feel bad for the other people.
By the
man.
way, that's why we teach.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I teach. I don't want people hurt. And
Right.
If I teach them something, I want it to be, be able to protect themselves on the
Always
street.
trying to help people.
Right. And being a coach and being an instructor too are two different things. A coach, an instructor has trained, for
Years
a while.
and years and years.
Well, I mean, for a while, and they've gone through this stuff, and they have a little bit of background,
Right.
or they've gone through a couple years of training before they become a full-fledged instructor. A coach, hey, listen, you got some techniques. Let's just say you're training and you've got you got like
Moxie.
Well, or you have punch combos like 1 through 4 or something,
Right.
And you go to a club and they go, hey James, I know you do that. Hey, can you show me some stuff? That's a coach. I mean,
we actually put more coaches out without realizing. Like I've been doing these classes for quite a while, and when the students get involved in and helping out someone who hasn't been there as long as
That's
them,
a coach.
That's a coach. And I
Right.
love it. Those guys they're invaluable.
Yeah, and so they've got a couple techniques under their belt, and when they're a coach, I mean, a coach is important because
Yeah.
you see that a good coach can change a game, but a great coach can change a life,
I like it.
right? And there's a difference between coach and instructor. Instructors had a lot more training. I mean, there's good instructors and there's great instructors, and there's good coaches, but there's great coaches.
Yeah.
Right. So, it's the way. Yeah, you talk about the coach of the Warriors. That's Steve Kerr. He's been in years. He was a player. He's been in basketball years and years and years. They call him a coach.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is an instructor. This is what he's doing, right? He's teaching them this stuff. So,
Making them awesome.
yeah. So, and some of this stuff that what's the McDojo stuff. You know what? We look at it, we think, oh my God, how can
Yeah, how
people?
silly.
But there are people out there that don't know anything about it, and they go, wow, that's really cool.
Exactly, and then they try it.
Right. I remember when I was in Taekwondo, and I remember before I learned Hapkido and Krav Maga and all that other stuff, where I was taught gun defense. The guy holds a gun on me, and I do an outside crescent kick and kick it out of his hand.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, that's so cool. I didn't know any better. And then I come to realize, well, what if after years and years and years, I'm going, wow, that was really,
It's kind of silly.
yeah,
a little
no,
bit.
not kind of silly. That was really dumb.
Oh.
But I didn't know better, right? So you learn that stuff, and it's better to
You
learn.
mean you can't do a crescent kick? You can't crescent kick a gun out of a guy's hand before he shoots you? Come
Oh, I
on.
can do that, but let me tell you something. Yeah, let me tell you something.
Okay, let's film that after this.
Oh my God, yes.
Okay, but here's the thing. Maybe I can do it because I've trained, but
Yeah,
if I'm
yeah.
teaching somebody, I'm not going to teach them that
It's
technique.
like this comes from like 4 decades of experience.
Yeah,
It's not going to
and-
happen in a week.
And would I ever do that in a real situation? Oh, hell no. Not no. It's hell no.
Hell no.
Right? Right? I've learned there are better techniques out there, and I've adapted, right? That's the other thing. People that are real traditional are very, very set in their ways.
Yeah.
And it's hard for them to adapt to something new and change, right?
And I think
well, we
quite
did it this way.
literally-
We did it this way, and this is how we're doing it. Well,
I
okay.
think quite literally that's what you did. You adapted and you switched it up, and now this program that's usually meant for like large men defending a country is now broken down so that anybody can do it.
Right.
Like you said, big, small, old, young,
Right.
doesn't matter.
And the thing is that again, whenever I teach any of my systems, you want it to make sure that it works for everybody.
Everybody.
Wait, I'm starting to get like James.
ASMR.
Everybody.
No, it's just an ASMR thing. It's okay.
When you say that you want to make it making sure that it works for everybody, how do you make sure that it works for everybody?
Well,
Like, for example, like
okay, so let's say that we've got big guys here. Justice like 6'6" and whatever, and
Brad is like
right, and
100
so
feet tall.
So I pick the smallest person in the room, and I'll take the biggest guy. For example, the pluck with one hand,
Yeah.
and then a strike, right? I learned that in Hapkido. Again, we call that a plucking. It's a one-handed pluck. Krav Maga has the same technique with a punch, and I put the smallest person on. I have the biggest guy choke, and guess what?
Always
And
works.
It always works, right? The secret to getting out of choke is turning sideways and being explosive, and it always works. So when a lot of people, when I say it works for everybody, I see sometimes you get the doubters and they're going, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so when I do that, then when I come up and I choke them, people they're surprised when I choke them. Because when I choke you,
because you actually choke them.
oh, I choke them hard.
That's why in every class, I'm always like, you guys have to feel this a little bit, or else when it happens, you're going to be surprised.
Right.
You know, and then you're going to panic. It's
Right.
like
We don't want any surprises. But what it is that motion and what we teach them, it works for everybody. I've never seen it not work.
Right.
Right. So that's how we do it. Right.
I like it.
Here's the other thing, and you know, Brian, Brian's big, right?
Yep,
You know, I train
huge.
Brian. Yeah, and Brian has always said, he talks about pressure testing something. I want to pressure test that. You know, Brian was training, by the way, for the Olympic fencing team.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it was real cool, and I've learned a lot of stuff from him.
You know, he just so happens to love his maces, and he's always swinging them like giant broadswords. I'm like, geez, man.
Well, anyway, but he goes, I want to pressure test this. I want to see if it really works, and
How
he'll
funny.
do.
Is he an
like,
engineer? Is that what?
No.
engineers do?
He's just a martial. I mean, he's a black belt, but he's a martial artist and he's a psychologist, and he works in a prison. I mean, a maximum.
Oh yeah, Brian.
Yeah, big Brian.
Yeah.
Anyway, I
You
remember.
said Brad.
No,
Shit, I'm
Brian.
like
Brad
talking about
too.
Brad
Anyway-
and Brian are both huge guys.
And they're both really good friends.
Yeah.
They train with each other
How
they.
fun.
Yeah, and so Brian wanted to know about, okay, will that choke with the one-handed pluck work? And I said, well, go ahead, choke me. And man, he is strong. I said, really? I was like this. Okay, is that the
Yeah.
hardest? Is that the hardest you can choke? Really? Bam! I said, come on, man. Quit playing around. I mean, you
Yeah.
got some big arms. Choke me. Bam! Got out of it. Bam! Got out of it. He goes, wow. And then what happened? He came in. I guess he put it on little Ann.
Yeah.
You know, Ann. He goes, can I choke you? I just want to see if this works.
Can I choke you?
Yeah. I mean, I said, so, and then, of course, one of our instructors, but he tried it on her and he goes, holy mackerel, I can't believe this works.
Yeah.
So he's a believer, right? And when I choke them and they go, oh, you let go, I go, really?
Yeah, no.
Okay. I go, now you're ready.
That's always the ultimate test. If Ann can do it off of Brian or Brad or
anybody, right?
then you know this works, and
And
she does it daily.
And these are big guys,
Yep.
and
everybody's got that ego, so we all want to try and choke as hard as we can. And it's like, okay, you want to try this technique. I get the newer people whenever we do this technique, and I tell them, you guys got to try and choke. Then you always get that guy who wants to hold on a little bit too long, and you're just like, all right, guy, we'll see how this works.
see what they don't understand is, yeah, I'm plucking or I'm doing this, but I'm also striking.
Yeah, but then they're just steady holding on. It's
And they
like,
go, well,
"Oh."
you know, I go, okay, here's what's going to happen. I want you to hold me as hard as you can. I'm not going to pluck. I'm just going to take my fist and I'm going to put through your face. Okay, I'm going to hit your nose. Okay, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's like,
Who said yes to that? Yes, Ev, please hit me.
no one's ever said
Because
yes.
I would say,
Not yet.
No, I believe you.
Most people do, right? I mean, it's again, but I want them to understand when even if you're small, you know. I remember holding a 2-year-old baby, and the baby was like this. You know how they get all wobbly,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it went bam, and headbutt me.
Took one to the head, yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, somebody take this baby. Hit me perfectly right in the nose. My eyes were watering. And I went,
Somebody take this baby.
I did. Because somebody take this baby. And my eyes were watering and, you know, and my nose, I didn't bleed, but, you know, just a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Or was it one? And it was just so strong.
Was that your grandson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Gotta love family.
And what it is that it's amazing because you take the smallest person and you take the biggest guy and you hit the proper area.
Yeah.
Okay, guess what? It works. Yeah. So again, we've adjusted and evolved and tried to make the system relevant to the street. Systems
System.
relevant to the street. Yeah. And I make it fun too. Oh, it's fun to break someone's nose. Just kidding.
All right. Just kidding. Hey, I noticed this is incorrect there. That one that says April between the July and the July.
Update it.
So,
By
when
the
do
way-
you think this will come out?
In 2 weeks, we have a women's self-defense seminar here. open to anybody.
Speaking of
May 4th, correct? May
let's
4th.
plug some stuff.
Yeah, let's plug it. I mean, really.
Well, really, I'm doing a boxing seminar that nobody's been talking about this weekend. So, I mean, that would be cool if we could talk about that in class instead of here. Because
You know what? We need to had those little sheets that we had where we give them to the instructors.
it would have been nice. We could put it right there up on the mirror.
I think it's better if we have Ev film it and we'll put it on the screen.
Oh, okay. James.
The screens that don't have any sound.
They do have sound. You just need to turn the volume up.
We're not turning the volume up. There's
Or-
classes.
Or hey, no, James.
Or play it over the speaker.
You are not helping.
By the way, folks, just so you know, they're a married couple. That's why they act like this. All right.
So yeah, seminar. Not that anybody's gonna get this before this weekend, but you know, what do I do this twice a year? Once every
4 times a year.
4 times a year, I put on
By
a
the way,
boxing seminar that
what's-
helps people with their boxing,
What do you cover?
holding mitts,
How to hold mitts?
just better, like how to punch properly. You know, like.
Right. Basic boxing stuff.
Being that I was trained by a boxer, kickboxer, I was certified by Floyd Mayweather himself, and you know, like I just have a lot of information that nobody's really collecting because we're in the middle of a class and everything is loud and we're all running around and jumping, and you know, there's just not a lot of one-on-one contact. So it's like this is a better way of just sitting down and getting through these.
How much is the seminar?
That would be good information to put on here. I think it's like $40 or $50.
Is it $49.95?
49.
Okay, great. Okay,
$49.95.
good. That's great.
And then we have coming up beginning of next month on the 4th.
Yeah, the women's
there's a
self-defense.
women's self-defense seminar.
Right.
Now, what kind of stuff can they look forward to? Because I've had actually a few young ladies come up and they were asking about certain techniques, like the hair hoodie grab kind of thing.
Right,
And like,
right.
oh, well, what about this or what about this? Because I was showing them a yellow belt technique, but then they were like, oh, well, what about this? And I'm like, that's like an orange or green
Well,
belt technique.
here's the thing.
So like, let's...
Blue.
Yeah, it's a blue belt. We're going to be doing. We're going to be covering. First of all, why do people get attacked in the first place? What? A couple things, right? Number one, they're either texting on the road, pardon
Or
me,
sneezing when they should be paying attention.
or talking on the phone, not paying attention. So that's the number one thing we'll cover. Is you got to be aware,
Yeah.
cognizant of your environment. Number two, we're just going to show a couple techniques. Hammer fist, and those are combative techniques.
Yeah.
And then hair hoodie grab is one of the techniques we show.
Yeah.
Right, and then again wrist grab, and I usually
The
ask
most important, like...
I usually ask the ladies, hey, most of them are afraid of being on the ground and getting attacked or raped there,
Right.
and that's a little more intricate and it takes a little more time, but the May 4th thing is going to be more of an introduction. Actually, we're going to have couple of our student ladies who are students here come in who have had,
Coaches, perhaps?
well, they're students and they're going to be coaching that day.
I
Correct.
like it.
Yeah. So it'll be nice because one of them has had some, bad experiences and she asked me if she could help. And I said,
like it.
sure, because, hey, you have some information that other people might relate to. And being women, of course, I mean, I want women in the class to be
like I'm
to
always
help out.
I'm always a little bummed out when just like I know Chris has done it once, I've done it once, when we just
There's no ladies.
there's no ladies.
Yeah.
And I sometimes I feel
ladies
bad.
helping, not
It's good that we could still get the information across and the point is still taken, but I'd always like,
Yeah.
to have a girl there just to, corroborate.
and anybody that has had a bad situation where they can say, hey, this has helped me, this is what I've learned. Again, that's always great. See, that's a person that's done stuff from experience and had it happen.
Right.
So that's another thing that we like to do is pick their brains, right?
Yeah.
And learn from them and adapt.
And that's the crazy part. Like, that's why I feel like instructors here have been more successful than I'm assuming other places because we keep that white belt mentality. Like that's always been one of our things. It's like if we stop learning, how good of an instructor are we really?
Yeah,
like,
never stop.
Like you said, we have to constantly adapt. We have to constantly evolve. And if we don't, we're just going to get left behind like everybody else. You know, like people are dropping left and right. These gyms open up, these gyms close. Other gyms open up and now they're unable to do what they've been doing for years. You know, like something made them unsuccessful. And I think that they lost that white belt mentality.
Yep.
Honestly, I think that's where it begins. And then the ego grows and then, you know, they think I just think that gyms, you know, especially need to come to grips with who they really are and the fact that they could be replaced at any minute.
Yeah, it's again.
They also need a good financial manager.
That helps.
Yeah, business manager.
So the other week, I saw this advertising on Instagram for a special deal from a local gym, and instead of paying $500 a month for Muay Thai, you would only have to pay $200 a month for Muay Thai.
And there's
Why?
maybe one class a day, and it's at 7 a.m.
No, there's two. There's one in the evening too. So there's two.
Two classes a day
Do you see Ev's face?
for maybe 4 or 5 days a week. Once at the crack
Isn't that crazy?
and once after work.
People say, well, you know, I mean, you have to do things over. Martial arts is very repetitive.
Yep.
And it's creating muscle memory, right? Again, what happens is that if you don't train more than 3 or 4 times a week, it's really not going to get embedded. It's not going to become muscle memory.
We should start
It'll take
charging
longer.
$200 a month.
No, we won't.
We should start.
We do charge $199 a month for a family membership, so 4 people can train in anything they want.
I want people to pay more for Muay Thai. I want them to pay $100 a day.
They do pay.
Oh, wait a minute.
The Muay Thai membership is $99 a
Oh,
month.
wait a minute. Oh, if you want this information, it
I'm
should be
gonna have to-
$4,000
We're
more.
gonna have to up the ante.
Hey, you know what? Why fix it if it ain't broke?
I'm glad I love doing what I'm doing. Aren't you glad that you get to do what you love to do?
Guess what? Yeah, I love what I do.
Thank
That's why I'm
you,
here.
wife,
I
for
think
allowing
we
me to
all
be able to
love-
do.
Not having to wear corporate attire.
Oh my God, I'm
and do-
half naked right now. Half naked. I'm not even wearing pants.
Jeez.
This is a smock.
He's wearing shorts.
Yes, it's the empty bottle. Wow.
Empty bottle.
Okay. All right.
Wait, what's your lineage?
Oh my God.
Like for real.
Well, my mom is, descended from samurai warriors.
I bet she is.
That's what I heard.
I believe it.
You mean you're?
No, I'm right. You're right. Your mom is tough.
Are you talking?
pretty
Yeah.
sure
Are
she
you
does.
talking about my lineage as far as what? Hapkido, Krav Maga.
Everything. What does that mean? What kind of answer are they expecting with it?
Yeah.
What is your
What's
lineage?
your lineage? And
What is it?
what if I start telling them that I'm
What-
half Filipino? Do you think they'll look at me
What
weird?
answer are they looking for?
I don't know. Lineage to me doesn't. It doesn't
Like, for
matter.
example, people go, oh, your Hapkido system. Is it part of Sam Pello?
Sam
whatever?
Rockwell?
I don't
Wait,
know.
what?
I can't pronounce his name.
Pellegrino.
Yeah.
No. Pellegrino
San
has his own
Pellegrino.
system. No, it's not Sam. But it's like, no, I haven't trained with Pellegrino. I trained with Master Kim, who is a Hapkido master
Trains with
from Korea.
Fanta, not San Pellegrino.
And so Pellegrino is an American guy who established, the Hapkido Association for the U.S. Okay, so what?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
his lineage?
I don't know.
Okay, well, no one ever asked, well, what's Pellegrino's lineage? It doesn't matter. He's good. Just like Wally J. Wally J. Created a system called Small Circle Jiu-Jitsu. What's his lineage? No one asks. Oh, wait a minute. Who cares, right? It's the people that really, I was teaching Taekwondo and other things, and they go, that's not real Taekwondo. Oh, really?
What's real taekwondo?
Well, I don't know, but
What's the difference?
What's the difference?
well, maybe because I was teaching English and in Korean. That I mean, the kicks were the same, right?
Bwomp bwomp. You can't say that.
Well,
Is it like champagne? It's only champagne if it's from that region in France.
yeah,
that
basically,
basically?
yeah. And so here's the deal: they are very close-minded. They're not willing to evolve and look at new stuff.
Been
right?
there.
Right. I mean, why again? So Lineage, great. I mean, you want to know what the Lineage is? Okay, all right. I mean, I've got all my certifications. I got my certificates. These are some of them, right? And I have all of them signed by master instructors. Again, so I have the Society of Wholesome Soul, which is a Korean. It's Korean, and I've gotten my lineage goes back to them, not to Mr. Pellegrino. I mean, it's different. It's different. A lot of stuff are the same. Techniques are the same.
Is that what Bruce Lee did when he came here? Everyone got mad at him because they were like, "You're not supposed to teach that to non-Chinese people."
Right. You're number one, and number two, he developed things and his philosophy was very open and very different. He was always learning.
Is that why they killed him?
I don't know what that
I
story
don't-
is.
Tell us, Ev. What do you know?
What happened? You know the secret.
I don't know the secrets, but the point is, he came over and he was the black sheep. Oh, you're different. Oh, your stuff's no good.
And the black pants.
And oh, your stuff's not real. How many people did he knock out?
Yeah.
How many people said he was?
I heard that he was like a gangster over there, and then he came back. He came here, and people had to tell him, "Hey, man, you gotta chill."
I don't know. I don't.
The world may never know.
Yeah.
You guys didn't go to different schools?
Oh, we went to different high schools together, but yeah.
I love how those just slip in.
Yeah, James and what's that guy's name? Post
Post Malone.
Yeah,
Post
man, you guys were.
Malone.
Yeah, you went to different high schools together, man.
Yeah.
You guys were tight.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I don't understand why he just turned out so bad.
Hey, it's called Moolah,
Oh yeah.
right? And it's a movie.
He
I
decided
think
he
it
wanted to
was pretty
sing.
good
I decided I wanted to fight.
For somebody who doesn't do that for a living.
Being a computer-generated character in a
Hey,
fight scene.
Conor
Selling
McGregor.
his likeness.
Look at Conor
yes.
McGregor, man. I saw him and I
People are
went,
selling
I
their
don't
likeness.
know why you're so super critical of Post Malone when that whole entire movie was.
Because out of the whole movie, his part looked the worst.
okay.
Of all that movie, everything else was cinematic genius.
Are you sure it wasn't that part where Jake Gyllenhaal was all like, he did that thing that you.
Oh
did in
my
class,
God.
And he held it there.
He didn't really
Yes, he did.
hold
He
it.
held there.
Not really.
He did what you do in class.
No, he did what my kid does.
What?
He did a Hadouken, like a tiger uppercut, like after punching down and then coming up. Oh man, that was a nice.
Yeah, but
But
I actually
I
did
know,
that.
but you saw him punch the thigh, right?
thigh.
Yeah, he came
You know
down
that,
on the thigh.
I know, but
and
there's a nerve center there where you can create a dead leg.
mine is kind of dead already from
Well,
getting kicked.
Well, I can do that if you want to see it.
No, I don't.
and it's amazingly effective, right?
I
So
know.
those going after nerve clusters. And on that note, we have to have that jiggy stuff because I've got to go teach.